Amelia, and as a 2008 graduate, do bear with me as I heartily thank my mom for making sure that when I'd be lazy and not really motivated in school, she'd make me motivated. She runs a tighter ship than Captain Horatio Hornblower, I can tell you that. As for my dad, I want to thank him for being my unshakable pillar of support. That hero doesn't have anything on my self-giving dad. I would like to thank my super cute younger siblings who are always helpful. And my older siblings have been a sweet source of advice through the years. However, I particularly wish to mention the eldest of my siblings, Minerva Jr., who consistently sets the standards by giving a stellar example as a hardworking, persevering student. Minnie, you da bomb. And lastly, I'd like to mention my independent study teacher, Lisa Caputi, who ran around like a headless chicken every month trying to get her homework samples turned in, and who has always been caring and concerned for my academic well-being. When I think of academia, I tend to think of Star Trek, education, the painful frontier, to boldly study and count every single day till summer. School. Although William Shatner is not the leading expert on education, undoubtedly every person who has taken a step in academia should identify with this accurate description of the sometimes challenging aspects of education. I'm sure we all remember how unfathomably cruel life seemed when we spent all night writing 12-page essays and that torture chamber cleverly disguised as a testing chamber. The teacher's infamous red pen, his weapon of mass instruction, indeed decided matters of life and death, such as whether or not we'd be stuck with a pop quiz on the Enlightenment era or the Scarlet Letter. For me, as a homeschooler, one of the most grueling moments of my education is when I tried to play sick on school days. And good old Mama, instead of schooling me as usual, would bring me a cup of hot, soothing tea and proceed to teach me arithmetic in bed. I soon learned that the only benefit of playing sick was having class on my mattress. However, despite the many cruel moments that seem to accompany education, I eventually developed an appreciation for Aristotle's worthy words when he wrote, "The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet." I have to admit, that Greek geek sure knew his stuff, because that quote there sums up education even better than Star Trek. Heck, education is a painful frontier. But anyone who has put time and effort into a test or homework project knows that ever so gratifying sense of accomplishment which ensues. But of course, the main fruit of education is, well, that we walk away with more knowledge than when we walked in. Yet, in my experience, I found that education not only makes us intellectual, but it hones our personal skills and talents, which is the reason that the fruits of education are different for every person. Somebody in this mass of red is probably planning to be a musician or play an instrument, like Melissa here, who just dazzles us with her beautiful piano skills. Or maybe one of these graduates is planning on becoming a rock star like Elvis, like wiggling his hips and singing like, Some graduates may be planning, on doing something like that. Or they may be planning on nursing patients back to health or surgically removing pinballs from a patient's liver. From history to physics, the variety of courses taken all through high school are not merely for knowledge's sake, but are preliminaries for young adults to become acquainted with our abilities, strengths, and weaknesses. As a matter of fact, my friend is going to teach us a sensational Dominican sister, and on the other end of the spectrum, my best guy friend is planning on being a totally awesome firefighter. In short, high school was an aid to help us realize our potential, thus assisting us to become the people we want to be. Even if I'm not 100% sure of what I'm going to be, I know where I'm headed, because I've learned that if I play to my strengths and work hard, success will not be able to avoid me. I'm glad and proud to be a high school graduate. You know what they say, the tassel is worth the hassle. So congrats to all my fellow grads, and have a super marvelous day, everyone. Thank you.